Hi, I'm Robyn Schaub with the We Are Memory Keepers design team. Mother's Day is just a few days away, and so I wanted to show you an idea to create a Mother's Day card using the We Are Memory Keepers Anthology collection. And it looks like this. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. So let me show you the supplies that we're going to be working with for this card. All of these pieces are from the Anthology collection by We Are Memory Keepers. I have an oval doily. I have the embossable stickers. I have layered chipboard. These are some tags and photo corners. Then I have these border strips. I pulled these out mostly because I love all of these sentiments that are up here along the top, and I think we can find one to use on our card. Then we have this paper, which is called Medley, and I love it because it reminds me of fabric. I think the floral print in this is so beautiful. I have this damask, which is a teal color, and as you can see, it has just a little bit of shimmer to it. And then I have a piece of We Are Memory Keepers cardstock, and this color is called Mint. It's one that is specially designed to go with this collection, so we don't have to worry about matching. It's all done for us. So we're going to start. I really like my cards to be 5 by 7 when I'm doing a Mother's Day card. So I am going to start by cutting my cardstock to 10 by 7, and then I will fold. Okay. Now that I have my cardstock folded, and this is again 5 inches across by 7 inches tall, I'm going to look for a sentiment. And as you can see on these border strips, there's some really great sentiments right here across the top. The one that really stands out to me that I think is great for a Mother's Day card is this one right here in the corner that says "Thank you for all that you are." I think that's exactly what I want to say to my mom. So I'm going to cut that out. So I have my sentiment. As you can see, I've left just a tiny strip of border all the way around it. So I'm going to set that aside for right now. Then I'm going to start thinking about what I want to do on my card. The design that I have in mind is I really want to capture some of this really pretty floral pattern, and I think it looks so nice with the paper. So I'm going to think about maybe having part of the card be this beautiful floral pattern, and then maybe the bottom portion of the card being this damask. And then we'll find kind of a way to separate it. I also want to tie in this doily because this beautiful lace I think would go really well with this pattern. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this paper, and I'm going to start laying it over the top here. I know that my card is 5 inches wide, and I know that I want to leave a little bit of this mint showing around the edge. So I am going to trim this. I'm going to do it to 4 3/4. So as you can see, you have just a little bit of the mint showing around the edges. I think I'm also going to trim just a tiny bit off the top because I'm really thinking about the position of this flower. So I'm going to cut, let's say, 3/4 of an inch off the top here. So that's going to give us a really nice flower right in the upper corner of the card. I think I'll go ahead and trim this bottom portion, because really we're going to see mostly the damask pattern, but what I want to do is go ahead and trim this to cover the full card, just so we can kind of get a perspective of what we're working with here. So something like this. So if I want to use the damask, on the bottom portion. Again, I'm going to trim it to that same width, which is 4 3/4. And this one being a consistent pattern, we don't have to worry quite so much about exactly where the alignment's going to be. So we're just going to go 4 3/4. I do really like this distressing along the edges, but I think I'd kind of like to use the bottom portion of it since it's going to be the bottom portion of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off the barcode strip along the bottom. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I think I would like to see maybe about, let's say 3 inches. So that's going to give us, you know, not quite half and half split on the card, but it's going to allow us to see a little bit of each pattern with some of the distressing brought in as well. Gone ahead and adhered the top and bottom pieces to the card. Next I'm going to add just a little bit of a divider. I kind of like to cover up when I have a seam. And so I'm going to take one of these embossable stickers. This is the pennant shape. It really pulls this yellow color in from the card, and I'm going to start it even just a little bit off the edge so that we get to see several of these shapes. And I'm going to lay that down. Just trim off the ends. Very pretty. Then I'd like to show just a little bit of this doily before we add our sentiment, because I think this is just a really pretty lacy way to add some femininity to the card. So I think maybe just about this much, because I also want to add just one more layer before I put on the sentiment. I'm thinking this tag, because it's chipboard, it adds a little dimension, it picks up on this floral pattern, and it has just a little bit of a sparkle. So I'm thinking maybe layering these two things together and showing just a little bit of doily. But you know, this tag is really begging for some kind of ribbon or something to tie through that. So let me see what I have in my stash that I can add to that. So I dug around a little bit and I found in my sew ribbon that I have an aqua that's kind of a velvet texture. I really love the softness of this. So I think I'm going to tie it through my tag. And maybe even just do a little bow on the top. So when I make bows that I'm just going to kind of fake and stick on the top, I just do a loop. I don't tie a knot first, I just do a loop. And I tie the bow without the knot. And of course, when I do it on camera, it doesn't turn out nearly as well as the other 5,000 times that I've done this, but that's okay, right? You fake it till you make it, I guess. So I'm going to just kind of work it around a little bit until I get it the way I want it. There we go. And I don't think it needs to be a huge bow. I think it just, I really just want kind of a little extra pop of color and texture to add to my tag. So I'm going to do that. So let's trim that down. Trim here, my angle. Alright, so now we can go ahead and put down our doily. Remember, we're just going to use a little slice of it here along this right edge. I like to use a liquid adhesive on these delicate doilies. You can use a tape runner, but I have had some experiences with tape runners pulling these delicate little doilies apart. So I really like to just kind of play it safe and use a liquid here, because you can really kind of get into all of the little intricate cuts with that as well. So I'm putting it just right along the edge here, so we see a little bit of it. And then we'll go ahead and trim off the excess again. You could do this with a paper trimmer if you are so inclined. So here we are, and then really we're just at the point where we can add our beautiful little tag. I'm going to let it hang off the edge of the doily just like that. We'll add that on with probably a glue dot. And then here's the thank you for all that you are that I'm just going to put right along the top. Just going to adhere that right over the tag. There you have our little Mother's Day card.